The railroading of Donald Trump is about to begin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. The New York State Supreme Court, and remember that's a superior court in any other state, has assigned a biased judge in the case of New York versus Trump. Furthermore, New York's finest have orders to close the streets of Manhattan while Trump visits Manhattan to appear in court. That'll come tomorrow. Clearly, the political left has orchestrated all this out of desperation. They think they can disqualify Trump from running for office, forgetting that the Constitution does not provide for such disqualification. I'm going to give you the latest as Donald Trump prepares to surrender himself voluntarily and appear in court in Manhattan. But first, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which reads simply Ultra MAGA. Now here, as I'm sure you can figure out, I'm talking not about Trump alone, but also about myself and all his other supporters. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Now, Donald Trump sounded the alarm about what he calls the witch hunt case on Friday, March 31st. At 9:50 a.m. Eastern Time, he posted a truth on Truth Social, to which I have a link in the description. He says, quote, "The judge assigned to my witch hunt case, a case that has never been charged before, hates me. His name is Juan Manuel Merchan, was handpicked by Bragg, that's Alvin Bragg, district attorney, and the prosecutors, and is the same person who railroaded my 75-year-old former CFO, Alan Weisselberg, to take a plea deal." Meaning, plead guilty, even if you're not, 90 days, fight us in court, 10 years, meaning life in jail. He strong-armed Alan, which a judge is not allowed to do, and treated my companies, which didn't plead, viciously, appealing, unquote, Donald J. Trump. Now that last is important. It tells you that all those cases involving the Trump organization are on appeal. Right now, I need to give you a definition, because maybe you know what railroading is in a context other than transportation, and maybe you don't. Railroading, in this context, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, means forcing something to happen or forcing another to do something. Railroading also classically means a deliberate miscarriage of justice that a corrupt judge or prosecutor sets up. Some might say the railroading began with the indictment, the wisdom of which many legal experts now question. But now, apparently, it will get worse. The Daily Mail reported yesterday that Trump's lawyers fully expect Judge Merchan to issue a gag order against Trump. Violation could bring a 30-day jail term and or a $1,000 fine. The Trump team is considering hiring a First Amendment specialist to quash any such order. Trump has definitively said he intends to address his followers from his Mar-a-Lago home late Tuesday night, following his court appearance. We'll see whether the judge will allow that or what he'll say to get around it. Stay tuned. The legal team also plans to file a motion to dismiss the case. The Daily Mail won't discuss grounds, but the outside experts have already suggested the statute of limitations on the likely charges has already run out. I say likely charges because remember, the indictment is still under seal. Laura Loomer and Roger Stone, a former Trump associate, reacted, as you can expect. I have links in the description to both their reactions. Loomer and Stone both cited the Daily Mail piece. Loomer called these doings insanity, and Stone called it just like what happened to him, which he maintains is unconstitutional. Loomer also plans a rally to line the road Trump will likely take from his home to the airport today. I have a link in the description to her announcement, and to another announcement she made after that about a Welcome Home rally she plans for 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon, also at Mar-a-Lago. Trump plans to fly into New York's LaGuardia Airport today, stay overnight at the Trump Tower, and then appear in court tomorrow. The judge will likely unseal the indictment at that appearance. Also yesterday, Cyrus Vance Jr., who is Alvin Bragg's immediate predecessor as Manhattan DA, appeared on NBC's Meet the Press to question the wisdom of the indictment. Trump War Room tweeted out that video, and I have a link in the description of their tweet. Cyrus Vance is also the immediate successor to Robert Morgenthau, who held the office of Manhattan District Attorney for 34 years. In the meantime, other reports have come in questioning the wisdom and even the propriety of the case. Before I quote some of these, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges, but if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. So visit oursilverlines.com and learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, Just the News, that's John Solomon's outfit, quoted the Washington Post as calling the case a poor test case for prosecuting a former president. They based that on the experience of an unsuccessful prosecution of John Edwards in Louisiana on charges similar to those that are rumored to be in this indictment. Alan Dershowitz, writing in the New York Sun, raised a more dire issue. People knew about the indictment more than a week ahead of time, and that may not happen. Grand jury proceedings are confidential, and breaking that confidentiality is a felony. In other words, some people, maybe even Bragg himself, could go to prison for making that indictment known earlier than it should have been known. But the spectacle of selective application of the law casts the worst scandal on this case. While Alvin Bragg has pressed a grand jury to indict Donald Trump on charges that some are already saying are specious, he has gotten a reputation for being soft on violent crime. He shares his fault with the Brooklyn and Bronx district attorneys, according to the New York Post. These attitudes, and certain reforms that make violent crime very difficult to prosecute these days, have caused assistant district attorneys to quit all three offices in droves. Bragg has lost 65 ADAs thus far this year. That office lost 97 in all of 2021. 67 ADAs have left the Brooklyn office and 51 have left the Bronx office. These typically represent 12 or 13% of all the assistant district attorneys in these offices. Now, tellingly, the Queens and Staten Island DA's offices refuse to share any such data. Discovery requirements represent part of the problem, but none of the 3 district attorneys seem in any mood to contest the reforms. Voters nationwide seem to have gotten the message. A recent McLaughlin poll, and I have a link in the description to Breitbart's article embedding several documents and slideshows from that poll, show Trump with a commanding lead over resident Joe Biden in a hypothetical matchup. But more than that, Trump is gaining Republican primary support. He has majority support in a 14-candidate field and would beat Ron DeSantis 63% to 30% if they went head-to-head. Voters also suspect any trial of Trump would be unfair. And now, my analysis. The railroading of Donald Trump is not only proceeding, but it is also obvious. Equally obvious is a selective application of the law that gives clear preference to those who actually take the property of others by force. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. A thief is an irregular wealth redistribution agent. And that becomes doubly appropriate considering the tax and other policies of the Democratic Party today. To add to it, even a socially liberal law professor now believes those charging Donald Trump with breaking the law have broken it themselves. These acts bespeak desperation and arrogance. Equally obviously, Donald Trump need not fear any stain on his reputation from this obviously unjust prosecution that everyone knows is unjust. He has far more reason to fear from a miscarriage of justice or the arrangement of an accident if New York's finest ever take him into custody. Others have already called this banana republic stuff or the politics of retribution, but those who practice the latter would do well to remember these words by St. John of Jerusalem. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10, New King James Version. Links in the description of the article to Trump's truth about the judge, to Laura Loomer's and Roger Stone's reactions to the gag order, to Laura Loomer's 2 tweets about her rally plans, to the tweet having the interview with Cyrus Vance, to Breitbart's article carrying that McLaughlin poll, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to rsilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to the Trump arrest playlist and 2 of the most recent videos about this case and how, so far, Trump is benefiting from the publicity. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.